Hey everybody, I'm back again. I'm in my garden trying to get the last little bit of light before it goes dark. So, I'm here to do the 20th century book tag, which was started by Lesley from Words of a Reader. Okay, now I was tagged by Janae over at Alan and Janae, and I was tagged by Mercedes from Mercy Bookish Musings. So, here I am finally with a book tag. Now let me explain. What I've done is the idea is that you take a book from each decade of the 20th century that you find in your on your bookshelves. So I decided to do that, but I'm adding a twist. So all of the books I'm going to show you are from African American writers. Now, this wasn't so easy for the 1900s. So we're going to start with the 1900s, and I have for you Cane River, which is by Lalita Tademy. And basically, this book starts, I think it's in 1863, and it goes all the way to like 1915 or something like that. This is historical fiction, and it's about a family and how mixed it is. And so we deal with plantations and white people marrying black people and things like that. And it's true. And you have inside lots of pictures of the family members and things like that. And I think she's written a second part to this. I can't remember what it's called, though. I think maybe Red something or other, Red River or something to that effect. So here we go. This is from my 1900s, Cane River. Next, I have 1912, The Autobiography of an Ex-Colored Man by James Weldon Johnson. I don't know if you know anything about this book, but it is excellent. It's about a man who's biracial who intends to pass for white. So of course you can imagine all the implications behind that. James Weldon Johnson didn't publish his book in the beginning with his own name on it. He put another name because he was afraid it would ruin his career. I think he was for his political career, I think it was. But it's a short book. I read this in college and I really enjoyed it. 100 pages, very quick, easy read. So there's this one. Next, I have Plum Bun, a novel without a moral. And this is by Jesse Redmond Fawcett. And yeah, this one was written in 1929. And it is one of those novels that was written during the Harlem Renaissance. And Jesse Redmond Fawcett was one of the popular Harlem Renaissance writers. And I think this one is about an African American woman, young woman, and all of her. Excuse me one second, the cat's back. Okay, I'm back. I didn't want the cat to go inside the house. But anyway, you know him. He's around. You want to see him? Okay. Yeah, so there, you've seen him. So yeah, so this one, I haven't read this one yet. It's about 158 pages, but I'm interested to read it because the Harlem Renaissance period, I really like it. And I have heard some things about this book, really good things. So there you have it for 1929. Next, for 1937, I have Their Eyes Are Watching God, Zora Neale Hurston. I'm sure you all have at least heard of this, even if you haven't read it. If you haven't read it, get on it. This book is so good, okay? I'm not going to say anything else about it because, I mean, you can go and find things out about it. And I'm sure people have done reviews on this on YouTube. I think I've seen a couple of reviews on it. But yeah, excellent read. Okay, then 1940s, Native Son by Richard Wright. And this is a vintage Wright. You might not be able to see it right there, but it's written vintage Wright. And I love it because it has the red spine, which is a different color from the front. Ah, oh, love it. This is another great novel to read. The main character is Bigger Thomas, and boy, is he just a symbol of tragic character. Tragedy, tragedy. But it is a very excellent read. Then I have Giovanni's Room, 1956, by James Baldwin, and I love this cover. Isn't it cute? It's a cute little book, and you can tell the difference in size when I put them next to the other one. It's really small. Now, the writing is extremely small, and there aren't very many pages, but I'm very interested in checking this one out. I think I showed you, you must have seen my review on If Beale Street Could Talk, which I absolutely loved. So I'm looking forward to reading this one at some point this year, Giovanni's Room, which is also one of his famous novels. Next, I have 1965, Manchild in the Promised Land by Claude Brown. Now, this book, I think I first read this book was in university, and then I read it again here in France when I just arrived. So maybe 20 years ago, I bought this in a used bookstore. I think it might have been in Shakespeare and Co. or something like that. But I really enjoyed reading this book. It is poignant and a must in reading African American novels. It's just something that you should read if you're really interested in it. All right, now 1977, I have Nasuki Shange's play for colored girls. For colored girls who've considered suicide when the rainbow wasn't enough, and is enough when the rainbow is enough. Sorry. Um, this is actually a play. But I decided to show it because I don't think very many people have talked about this play before. But if you're not into reading plays, I suggest you go and look at it being performed. I know there was recently a movie that came out maybe 3 or 4 years ago with Whoopi Goldberg and an array of other fabulous African American actresses and actors. And I suggest you go and see it if you ever have a chance. Either see that movie or see somebody else performing this play because it's very good. Next, I have Tar Baby, published in 1981, and it's, of course, by Toni Morrison. This is another excellent book that I first read in college when I was at university. Um, I read this book and I adored it. I really, really adored it. It's one of my favorites of Toni Morrison. And basically, it's about a girl who is African American and she gets involved with a white man. I'll read you the back. It says, into a white millionaire's Caribbean mansion come Jadine, a graduate of the Sorbonne, art historian, and American black now living in Paris and Rome. Son, a criminal on the run, uneducated, violent, contemptuous, an American black from small town Florida. He is a threat to her freedom. She is a threat to his identity. You got to read that. It's good. You got to read it. It's good. Okay, so it's Tar Baby. And lastly, but not least, I have Colored People by Henry Louis Gates Jr. This book, Colored People, was given to me by a friend maybe about 7 years ago who was leaving and was getting rid of books. And I saw this book and I grabbed it. I'm not really sure what it's about. I'll read you. Oh, there isn't any description on the back. They just quote some other people about the book. But it says Gates looks back with affection on that last generation of his family to have been born and bred under segregation, a world away from the I was born in a shoebox style of so much white American political autobiography. There's even one here from Joyce Carol Oates. Colored People is a gentle and eloquent document, a pleasure to read, and in the best sense, inspiring. That's by Joyce Carol Oates. So yeah, so it looks like an interesting book. It's not very long. It's just over 200 pages, and I'm sure it's a very good read. You know, who knows? If I get a chance to read it this year, I will definitely do a review for you. Okay, so that's all I have for you. If you haven't done this tag, do it because it will get you reacquainted with your bookshelves and what is found on them. Because I think sometimes we don't look at our bookshelves closely enough, and there that gave me a chance to look thoroughly through mine. 1900s really stumped me because I know that it's difficult to even find a book that was written in the setting is in 1900s, and that's why I picked Cane River because the last third of the book is around 1900s. But other than that, I do encourage you all to do Leslie's tag 20th century literature. It's a great idea, and I will link below Leslie's channel so you can check her out if you don't know her, but I'm sure you do know her. Otherwise, you've been living under a rock. Okay, so I will see you guys really soon. Bye.